conversations. One of them that has been so fired online is the conversation on compensation for women who are... Did you guys see?
No, I'm so excited and nervous, but I also want you to answer that question.
Question number 10. What uncomfortable truths do you feel you were not told about life in university?
What uncomfortable truths do I feel like I was told?
That you were not told.
That I wasn't told. Aki kanakuanga kaslo. Ni followers tu akakwangi different na sisi. So even after you broke up, you're still updating him.
Yeah.
I stand a king. Kipchumba needs to write for us a book. Girlfriend asalimiane bwana.
First of all, manze, you wapenda. You inspire. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's yet another episode of the JOYRIDE podcast. This is season 8, episode 6. And I'm just happy today. Like the guest I have today, I am super happy. But before we get to the guests, we have so many things that we need to do. We need to read some few comments from the previous episode that we did.
Okay.
I'm gonna be reading from TikTok.
Go for it.
I'm bold. So somebody's saying, Tetio. Not Tetio. Shiro's Thrift is saying, Kaitoe Naivasha, Zoya kupiga mtu hedi. So basically, she was implying that the way nili kuuliza if we are in Naivasha and I don't buy you flowers regularly, kasema Zoya kupiga mtu hedi. Madhaya is saying, Wanjiru ni kama umepata ribi yako. Hey, awesome way of communication. Heri nyinyi, for real. Mo Wega is saying, I can be a flower plug. I can be a flowers plug, my people. What else? Alafu somebody, Nasha Diaries is saying that namba ya mtu wa flowers ni muhimu. But something if I picked from this comment section, the gentlemen also didn't know that you can actually subscribe to a flower person.
Yeah.
And then just have them send to your partner or your wife or your girlfriend.
On a weekly, bi-weekly, right? Monthly, whatever you decide.
Yeah. Or every quarter.
Yeah.
You
can have flowers
of
every
a
quarter.
day. Like, whoa.
So gentlemen, do this, eh? There are all these subscriptions for flowers. Furahisha mpoa wako.
Yeah. I also learned that last week.
Yeah.
What
and I'm
else?
happy to see you implement it.
Yeah. November 22nd is going to be a big day. I think we are halfway through the Alibad tickets. We're going to be having the JOYRIDE Live Experience at Jain Bhavan.
This whatever goalpost of yours keeps moving because last episode you said 10 tickets remaining. Now it's halfway. This goalpost keeps moving.
Sinika kusema mimi mali imetoka Dubai tu sasa. Hii ka utachukua hii non-stick.
Wewe unajua kuuza kabisa. But anyway, grab your tickets. 22nd will be at Jain Bhavan and we're so excited to see you. We're planning a really good show for you guys, so keep buying your tickets.
Yeah.
Yes.
How have you been, Wanjiru?
I've been good. I don't know if there's anything that's happening. My nanny came back. You know, all of you guys were telling me that my nanny has been away on sick leave for 2 weeks. And people are convincing me that she won't come back, that it's just a castello for her to leave me. But she came back.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that she's back.
Like she surprised you.
Yeah, in the morning. She was just like, I'm at the gate. I was so happy to see her.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And even Tao was so happy to see him. So
I can imagine.
To see her, yeah.
Can imagine. Today, we have a very cool guest. This guest is vibes on vibes. Every time I go to her show, I talk a lot. Like I speak so much. The last time I think even the director or the producer added a small minute.
More time.
You know? But I knew I had to like fully dress up for that show. I had this huge jacket and I was sweating throughout, but it looked so drippy. So even when she came to this show, she's so drippy. We're so honored to have her. She's one of the top media personalities of our time.
Yeah.
She's been in this game for so long.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. This is the media Mugabe. Like, she's been at the top for a very long time. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for the one and only Amina Abdi Rabar.
Yay! We're so happy to have you, Amina. Karibu sana on the JOYRIDE.
That's so dope.
Welcome. How are you feeling?
I never do interviews, so I'm just like, what does that people feel when I introduce them?
Like, karibu sana.
And I love, every time when Amina come on set, kila time everybody's referring to her as Amina Abdi Rabar. It's like we're saying all her. And then she's like, it's so weird because we never say Bernard Karaoke Cairo all the time.
I don't know why people do that, even on their phone.
Yeah.
But
That's
when
a
I
nice
call somebody, they're like, hi, Hi, Amina Abdi Rabar. And I'm like, you could just Amina. Amina
No.
is good. Perfectly okay.
It's just
has a
cool.
nice-
Amina Abdi Rabar.
Yeah.
AAR.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so
Karibu
much.
sana.
I am so excited, honestly, because of so many reasons. One of them, I was telling Ben when he called me to ask me to come on the podcast. I told him I don't usually do interviews or podcasts, and you guys are very positive. You're not trying to, ambush
No,
me
it's
with
not.
some
Clickbait,
sensational,
you know?
scandalous question.
Yeah.
So I said, of course. What do you
Yeah.
think?
Thank you.
And he was so jazzed because he was like, "Oh, we didn't think you'd say it."
Yeah, I
just
didn't
like,
think.
let's try.
In fact, when I was talking to you, it never occurred to us that we can actually have you on the show. And then I told my wife, say, call her. And then my wife was like,
You sure?
pigo
I'd be honored.
yo government yako haraka.
Haraka, we get over it.
But no, me now, miss, I don't mind. Like,
You have thick skin.
so I was like, call her. And she was down. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, this is it.
I really want you to have a lot in common there because
Yeah.
I would have caught. Let me unfollow, but don't kwende uko. Who do you think you are?
Unaweza kuwa hurt, but I'm so happy that you came.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting is that Nyawera, our friend, I don't know if Ben told you,
Yes, he touched on
she
it.
loves you so much. She actually wanted to be here so that she could meet you. She's also in the entertainment MCing space, and she has looked up to you. So I know,
A long time.
Yeah, she was like,
it.
"Give me a picture of Amina."
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
I told you the way people would have like posters of Ludacris, Hamilton,
That's
and
her
all.
with you.
Like if you check closely, Nyawera, she has Amina Abdi Rabar.
You've inspired her journey a lot.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
I am so
She looks
completely
up to you a lot.
just. And I told Ben, I was like, oh, I think I've seen her before. I even asked Moji, and I was like, you have a very beautiful wife. She's so vibrant. She has a very lit personality. Why have you never had her come on the show? Because people have come on the show before with their partners and their significant others. Sasa nikashanga. Mbona umekuwa ukimficha? She is such a, oh my God, Nyawera, if you watch this, I love you too.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's gonna
I
make her
truly
day. That's gonna
do.
make her day.
I really, I'm so jazzed. I don't know what to do with myself. Usually I get so excited when people say things like that.
Yeah.
Because it affirms that, you've been on the right track and there are people watching. And it's just so humbling, especially when you just feel bummed out or you feel sad or bad or low. Referring to people who, all the messages or videos or when you meet people who tell you things like that. It's so cool. Thank you, Nyawera. And thank you to you guys.
Yeah.
Welcome.
So Ben wasn't lying. I thought he was lying.
No, it's testament to
Okay.
your influence. She actually really wanted to be here today.
Yeah.
But shout out
But
to
she
you.
had an
Nyawera.
speaking engagement.
Yeah.
Na alikuwa shakula deposit.
So, hakuwa na
You gotta
option.
show up. Yeah.
Next time.
You're talking about when you're feeling low and high. Do you ever get low moments?
Many times. Many times. And I think that's something that people overlook, especially when it comes to whether it's anyone in the limelight.
Yeah.
People who give joy, people who entertain, comedians. I know you've seen it with some who've taken their lives. And you wonder how? He was always so happy. He was always so this. He was always so that. So people don't ever even see it. But yes, many times I am extremely passionate about mental health. Even though I had studied so much about depression and other just forms of mental illness and just health in itself. However prepared I thought I was, I actually was not. I also did study psychology. I'm so passionate about how the brain works. And even then, it would still not prepare me for when you're the one in that dark hole and when you feel shitty.
Yeah.
And no matter how many times people will tell you, oh, you're really good at this. And I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Munanipaka tu mafuta. I like it. Keep on glazing me. But yes, many times. Many times.
Because I tend to imagine like you've been in the game for how long now? Media space.
Maybe 16 years. I took 2010.
Bro.
Wow.
Like,
Yeah.
that's a long time.
Yeah.
And still
Very
remain
long time.
relevant
Yeah.
throughout the years.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's
Without,
assume like when you've been at it for so long, top of your game, it's like maybe you're not stressed as much.
I think for me, the trigger was grief. I've always been a very happy-go-lucky person.
Yeah.
I've always seen, the glass is half full. I've always been an optimist my entire life. And then I lost my dad. And when I lost my dad, I felt like my whole life, it was pointless now because he was my biggest fan, my biggest supporter.
Yeah.
And I just honestly checked out. I checked out when he was ill back in 2019, and then he passed away January of 2020, and then COVID hit, and I've just never been the same.
Yeah.
I've always just tried, like even for social media, I used to love posting on social media, and then I couldn't bring myself to do anything. It was just so hard, and so I hired someone. And now is when I was just telling Manjiru before we started rolling that now is when I'm slowly starting to post or to be active on social media. I didn't even know what used to be posted. I used to take pictures and then someone just posts.
Yeah.
What they post, how they post, sijui. So when guys would DM me, they'd ask me when we meet in person, I DM'd you, why didn't you respond? And I'd be like, oh, I'm so sorry. There's someone who handles my page. And they wouldn't understand. What I mean, siangaliangi. Sijui watu sema nini, sijui nilipata DM gani, I don't know. I'd just approve a few pictures, and then sometimes I'd just tell her, please don't, just post what you want, honestly. For this month, I'll try again next month. But for me, it started with grief, and it just really made me sad. I tried coping with unhealthy things, and it was just really tough. It was really, really tough. I think what people don't tell you is that grief never really ends. You grieve for the rest of your life, and it does change you. You don't remain the same. So I think for me that
it does. Actually, the same season I lost my sister, 2020.
It was 2020,
It was
What a
crazy.
year.
It was.
and you feel like you're not the same, Cindy.
Oh yeah, it changed me a lot. You're broken. I don't know. It took a lot to rise above it. I can't say I've risen above it, because even sometimes when I feel like I've forgotten her, now I even feel more guilty.
Oh yes. Or when you laugh when you have a good time.
Is she now getting forgotten?
Yeah.
And the memories are fading. You told me something like that.
Yeah, well, you start to forget some things that you would do together, and
so vivid.
you feel even more guilty for that.
Yes, you do.
So I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you. But so now you because now I follow you on socials. You're very active, especially during the traffic. I see you complaining all the time. What's happening?
Ndo nimeanza sasa sai kupost traffic. Ndo ninaanza kufeel ni kama now I can post again. I just felt like there was a lot of attention, and it sounds so crazy because this is what we do. And then you're complaining uko kwa limelight, like okay, madam, that makes absolutely no sense. Yes, you're in media. You do have lights on you, but then you just want to be human. You want to just be yourself, and there are all these expectations. And I was like, I just want to be, Amina without the lights. But so now that's why you're seeing me posting traffic and my son and going to school and and I'll post even more as the days go on, because it's so weird how I used to do this all the time, and I just couldn't for years, and no one could really tell because I was still sort of active. I just didn't want the page to die. But there was a time I was inactive for almost a year. I just didn't post.
Oh, really?
Like 20
in that grief season?
Yeah, it is still grieving season. Can you imagine? That's what's so insane about it. And I lost out so much in those years because I would just go to work because I have to, money and bills.
You don't have the strength.
But I don't have the strength, so to be creative, to do anything outside what I was employed to do, it took a lot. Yes.
But I'm happy that you're slowly coming back into the space. Your content is fun.
Yeah, Kabisa, and we're happy to have you. So we're gonna get to the conversation of the day. We're gonna start with you. Pick a question.
Okay.
We are all picking a question and we're all going to answer it.
Okay.
So the conversation is basically how much of our personality, how much do we show who we are versus who we really are? I hope that makes sense. So that's a conversation of the day. So Amina, I'll give you the honors of going first.
Okay.
But we'll all answer it.
Okay. So in your experience, then and when you go, is the honeymoon phase really love or just the best version of our masks?
That's a good one.
You've started deep.
That is true. This is a good question.
Phase, is it?
This is such a good question. In your experience, is the honeymoon phase really love or just the best version of our masks?
It's both.
I want to say, can it be a little bit of both?
Both, because it is love. You love this person. You're trying your best to make them happy and to win them over and to show them that you're going to give them the best life ever. But are you trying to mask some things? Yes.
For sure.
Yeah, you don't want
For sure, yeah.
You don't want to look so weird like at first. You're not sure if you become too vulnerable, it's gonna scare them. Because sometimes being too vulnerable it's like you feel like you're exposing your weakness.
It's like a nakedness.
Yes, like a nakedness to of sort. That's a good way to look at it. So like I even remember, and I've said this on the podcast before, during our honeymoon, even in Cape Town, I kept telling her that,
honeymoon in Cape Town. Hello.
Yeah, what is
He was promising.
Let me hear me. I just commanded there. I got married a long time ago.
This man.
So I'm like, but then let me tell you one thing. In this marriage, I'm going to be taking you out every year. So
Cape Town every year.
We're going to do Europe. I want you to get a Schengen visa. Get a Schengen visa. We're going to do Europe. We're going to, like I would overpromise,
Yeah.
Then kidogo tuko
really
pajeta.
No, but sasa si even her. And by the way, a lot of men do that. So what happens is they mirror the woman. So he was mirroring you and the kind of lifestyle he imagined that you deserve.
And it's true.
It's true. So imagine if at that time he was like, I'll take you to Naivasha, I'll be taking you to Nanyuki.
We were not doing local. It was, I promised abroad, Juana.
It's because that's what he saw for you.
Yeah.
So it was...
And then the reality hits and...
Yeah.
A
lot of guys do that.
Out.
Yeah.
A lot of men do that. A lot of men do that. I remember even for me, my partner also said the same thing. Where alikuwa tu ananiambia venye ako na mavitu mingi investments. Ilikuwa kwa sababu that's what they want. They know that's what you want to hear. So they tell you. But the one thing that you were saying is that if you become too vulnerable too soon with women, there's a challenge. I promise you there is. We do want you to open up. And we tell you, men's mental health is important. Like, ukilia tu hivi na ndo tu tumepatana. Hey,
but then you're intense.
I know it.
Who is going to take care of who?
Yeah.
I'm just a girl.
I'm just a girl. I don't know what to do. So
Have you given your views on that?
I do 100% believe it's about... We are masking something, but also there's love in there.
Are there things you felt like you were masking during the honeymoon phase?
I think some things about just like showing, like maybe sort of like, because I do have like a super dramatic side.
Thank
and
you.
You're like,
thank you. That's what I was going to say.
If I show him my super dramatic side, he's going to think like this is a crazy person. So you kind of like ease into it. So I think maybe that's for me what I would
So at what point do you feel it's safe to unleash the drama?
I think like you kind of know that it's kind of like secure. Yeah. There's something.
Around the time where we start farting around each other, I feel like that's a safe time for you to know that I get irritated when you don't return my call. There's also the jealousy or, the envy. You will not show that.
Yeah.
You will act so like, of course, you want to hang out all night with all your female friends or... Of course, let me make you snacks. So there are certain things you just don't want to
show
early on. So there's definitely a mask.
Okay, so let's do this next question, guys. All right. Do we perform different versions of ourselves for our partners, and is that wrong? In your experience, would you call out someone if you felt that they were not being their true selves? Do you do it in public? Do you do it in private? Or do you ignore?
This is now in relationships.
Yeah, in relationships or just like maybe friendships, someone close,
So I think definitely in private.
Yeah.
In private, because immediately you tell me anything in public, I feel like your intention was to humiliate me or embarrass me. And it was not constructive in any way. And so I will get defensive. And I'll feel like the need to attack.
Yeah.
I will now all of it. It's going to become a disagreement.
Yeah.
Unless now you are a superior, maybe a boss, maybe, I don't know. But if we're just friends. And you feel the need to tell me in front of all these guys.
Yeah, of course. Public is crazy. What is this? Nairobi Diaries?
But what if like it's a knit circle that like you trust? Like maybe say your family or like
I still
very close friends.
I've never taken well to it. I have never ever. Yeah. I just feel like you could have pulled me to the side. The conversation would have been very different. I would have been so receptive. Like let's say I did something wrong that maybe bent in. Like if it's something that the both of you didn't appreciate, then I would understand you both calling me in for a sidebar or a side chat.
Yeah.
But to just tell me,
ambush me.
By the Amina, you doing this and you doing that is so wrong. I just feel like now
Yeah, that's unnecessary in public or even in front of. Even I don't like being called out in front of people.
Yeah.
It's awkward. Even if they are my family, just tell me on the side.
Yeah.
But would you call out your? There was something about it was friends or partners.
Yeah, friends or partners, and in your do we perform different versions of ourselves? And is that wrong? So in the different relationships that we have, whether family, friendships, relationships, do we perform different versions of ourselves? And is that wrong?
I don't think it's wrong because different relationships require different versions of us.
Yeah.
Who you are to Ben is very different from who you are to your sister.
Yeah.
Who you are to your friends.
Yeah.
You're not being sweet and romantic to them. You're not, being submissive to them. You're not as thoughtful. I mean, you'll buy them a cute present, but I mean, Ben takes priority, right? It's just how life is. Yeah.
But then when does it start now becoming like
You're
this
fake.
person? Yeah, you're fake. When does it start becoming fake?
I think it's when.
Or you're not honest.
Wow, because I understand what Amina is saying, that there's a way you need to carry yourself in different spaces.
Relationships, yeah.
But I think that the underlying factor of it is the values are still the same. Because if you have different values when you're with this person, or let's say you're very kind and humble with this group of people, and then these other people know you're crazy, you're borderline, just not okay, then now those are two different people. But so then that is hypocritical and you're fake. But if you're still the same person, just presenting yourself in a different way, but the values are still the same, then that's totally understandable.
Yeah, that's true. Because sometimes you are very, and it's almost like a video of you being recorded in somewhere else, and guys are like, that is not who.
That's
like
not who I know.
completely different. Who is that? However, I mean, when I'm at work, I also work with a lot of embassies and I meet a lot of dignitaries. They definitely know a different Amina. I can assure you that. But it's not like I'm uku selling drugs on this other side.
You're a gangster.
Like I run
Queen of the South. Yeah, I get that.
It's just that they don't need to see me turning up or twerking or whatever. It is do work. Like they don't need to see that side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's the same even with the internet, because like our close friends and our families maybe experience, we are all in the social media space in one way or the other. Our friends experience a different version of ourselves from what the internet we present on the internet. And I don't think it's wrong, because in a way you want to guard your space, you want to guard who you are, because the internet is a weird place. So I don't think it's actually wrong.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you think everyone wears a mask, or some people are just truly authentic all the time?
I think there are people who are themselves
all the time.
A lot of the times, just because you can tell they don't have decorum in knowing how to act in different spaces. Like that language, I get it. You don't give a flying but you don't have to speak in that language. And it's just certain things you learn from exposure and also just how you want to be perceived. Exactly. Yeah. There are people who don't care. But this
I'm my true self.
This is who I am. And there's some of us who would want to, come off a bit polished. And there's nothing wrong with that.
I like that. So do you wear a mask, or are you truly authentic? Are there times where you wear a mask? I wear a mask sometimes. Yeah. Especially when I'm with super spiritual settings. Like
I know, like you with your passy just now. I saw you.
My passy. I know. We're very close friends, so not really. But now, like when I'm with other people, like in the church space, sometimes there's a way. Sometimes I feel like I have to behave because you might just rub some people off.
Yeah.
And then when I'm, for example, we're doing holidays with my fam, who's mostly my sisters, like that's also a different version. Like we're just so happy like that. Then there's the version with the parents where I'm a very resourceful son. Very like when they love me. Whenever they need something, I make it happen. So I think it's the wisdom to know how to present yourself in all this.
Yeah.
So don't know if to call that a mask. But it is a mask to a point. So are you truly authentic all the time, or do you wear masks?
I think I do wear masks 100%. To what you've said, I think also to some extent, even like there are things I know I would be confident saying in some spaces. There are things I would not be caught doing or saying on the internet, only because of how it can get, how it can be perceived.
True.
And you also just don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
That's so me. That's so me, especially on X. Like I know I have so many opinions, but I can't share all of them.
No, you can't.
I just don't think I have the bandwidth to handle the lack of wisdom from some people.
Oh,
or
yes.
I don't have that, you know.
Yeah.
Lack of
So
wisdom.
I'll let it slide.
Yeah. So
that's true.
100% for you.
I definitely do wear a mask. And I think we all do to an extent. The only issue is, you don't let the mask stay glued on, right? We are all performing on different stages. Life in itself is a stage. Especially now with social media, we're definitely all just performing. We're on a stage. There are no applauses. It's just people scrolling.
Yeah.
But you don't want everyone to see you the same way.
Yeah.
And it's a respect thing. It's a respect of your own self and also to the people around you, to your own job. Everybody that does not deserve to see the madness that you sometimes, get into.
Yeah.
For example, like now I know people online know that I don't always wear hijab, but when I go for every single family function, my mother has never seen me without a hijab. And, my family, when I interact with them, I have a hijab and we're always, I'm a different, very, very different Amina.
I'd be shocked.
Hey, you should hear me. I speak half Arabic, half English. I'm like, Assalamu astaghfirullah, la ilaha illallah. Like a very different person.
Yeah. I'm like,
Yes. And I remember like even earlier on, I used to lie a lot about where I work because I never wanted them to listen to what I used to talk about on air. Because it's such a taboo to talk about sex. And I remember my first show was in the middle of the night at 2 a.m. What time was it? It was, I think, midnight or 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. It was some mini truck drivers, pedophiles, and I don't even know who was awake. Mashetani tu ndo walikuwa awake at that time. So the things I used to talk about, I was like, nobody has in my life. Sometimes I see people post things online, whether it's on TikTok or Instagram, and I'm like, you where's your family?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, where are your relatives? I mean,
exactly.
I get it, go you, but damn, no one is going to call you. Nobody is going to call
funny
you.
though. Ilikuwa time ya mashetani kutune.
Yeah, mashetani tu na mimi.
So where did you tell them you used to work?
Like, I would just make up frequencies. And I'm like, oh, you can't hear me? I said, you tried.
So they're looking for like 70 something.
Yeah, 78.35.
AM is on my AM. Do not the FM frequency.
Yeah.
I'm like, 77.4, you can't. I'm like, I'll tell them to fix the
But now
data.
you kept blowing up, and now you're on a national stage where you can't hide from them.
And I have had to face a lot of criticism because of it. And what is so interesting that people don't know, when I initially started my career, I used to be fully covered up. I was very religious. And then I would get so much vitriol directed at me. There was no... Facebook had just started, but it wasn't as intense. So there was the short code messages. It was like 223, 444 something. And they would send pages upon pages upon pages, just insulting me and just, you're such a whore, you're a prostitute, you're gonna die, your family's gonna die.
Because of not
for
wearing
Muslims.
hijab.
I did have a hijab just because I was on TV.
Radio
On TV. This time I was
Really?
just on TV on KBC. Yeah. So I was like, come on, itatukanwa.
On KBC, that time was with DJ
Hassan.
Hassan. I
Yes,
remember that
Hassan.
show.
Yeah, I know even Hassan remembers that.
Yeah.
They even used to hide them from me. They wouldn't, and it would be stacks. I remember my producer, shout out to Phoebe, who would tell me, I don't think you should read them. And I don't know, I just always used to feel like I had this favor, just like a cloak of something protective. And I just always believed it was God just telling me, ni sawa tu. Utakutukana lakini ni sawa. And so I would never, because it wasn't me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, sawa. So I am definitely not all these things they're saying.
Yeah.
But so they used to insult me. So I was like, oh, okay, so you can just do whatever the hell you want to do. People will always have an
always
opinion.
talk.
And so I was like, guys, for the real deal.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
guys,
Let's
Yeah,
go.
real
so
guap,
I just
you know?
never cared. I just never cared. And maybe partly someone can say that I always wanted to not dress like that. I don't know. I can never really know. But then the insults were definitely a trigger. I think I remember there was a time where I don't know if it was Willie Paul or Bahati who said something like people insulted them out of gospel or something. They feel so much hate and no one was understanding. And I said, I get that though.
Yeah.
There's a way you can, constantly get this pushback and you are trying to do the right thing or you're trying and then you just completely go the other direction.
Yeah,
And I think that's what happened with me.
Kind of.
Even today I was telling Shiro, if you really want to scale as a public figure, you have to break this barrier of always being liked. You have to be okay with people just not liking you. That's number one. You have to be okay with just pissing people off just by your existence. The people you just like, jam, you know. So unless you break that barrier, if you're always trying to please people, there's just a ceiling that you will never break. And I was telling Shiro, 100 years from now, none of us will be here. We're all just going to be memories and the impact that we made. And you were so afraid to piss people off, and that hate or impact wasn't even going to be for life. So just do what God has called you to do and stop caring about whatever. And it's more vicious for us who have the religious side to us. You see, you get that from your faith. We get that from the faith as well.
Yeah, like constantly being questioned.
Yeah, like
should
people
you
can
really?
say, people can say
are
this.
you really?
You host some people get pissed off, you know, you do this. So you just have to rise above that. And,
like for sure you're going to get some pushback for this. Like,
I love it. How do you mean? We were so excited.
No, but I wish I learned that earlier on in my life, in my career, that it is okay to not be liked. And you are not going to be liked by everybody. You are, you know, people prefer tea, some people prefer coffee, some people prefer champagne. People prefer different things. And I struggled with that for a long time. And I remember this one time I trended for like 4 days, and I had trended here and there, but I was like, as it was in a jolly. But then now when they came for my character and people were just making up all these things, and I'm seeing someone doing a thread, lying. I've never met you.
Like they were
you
just
were just lying, you know? And I think that changed. It snapped. Something snapped in me. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, so I will always just
piss people
off, and I had to be okay with that. And you had to sit in that and accept that there are people who will always believe that you are a terrible human being and there is nothing evil. Like Satan. You know? And you know that that's not true. And you have to come to terms with that. I wish I learned that earlier. I wish.
And I think when you go through that as a public figure, it's like baptism by fire. It changes something about you. So people who have really trended, I'm sure other people, even the likes of Aziad, you know, the Murugimunis, there's just something it changes about how you view, and and if you rise above it, you come with some sort of confidence.
And in a weird way, it kind of frees you. It kind of frees you and allows you.
Yes,
it frees you.
It does.
In a way, they think they're trying to get you down, but for you, it just like frees you and frees you from opinions, from people pleasing.
I mean, okay, but to some extent, there are people who are doing some evil.
Of course.
Of course. They trend for it. I'm not condoning that. You know, if there are things that you're doing to people that's terrible, stop. Please stop. Say it, you know, even you are rising above anything. When you know, and then you're saying, oh, you know, I have haters. You don't. You have people who are calling you out for your terrible behavior. But yes, once you start, when you survive after it, you start making money, or you're still, like, and it also reminds you who your core people are. Right? Your friends, your family. It is such a reminder of who is important in your life. And I think it also tells you see, like the way we have all these lights underneath, where, we'll switch them off when we're done with the podcast, right? And that's sort of how the life in the public eye is as well. You are on stage and the lights will go off at some point. So who's with you for real? And then you start knowing like you have a circle and these are the people who, because it gets dark sometimes. And because when you're trending on Twitter, you feel like it is in the universe. And everybody, and because it's just like 200 people.
And then it's like one day.
Yes, it is one day.
People move on to the next
carry
thing.
It on, you're like, walisema mimi ni hivi na hivi.
You know, sometimes you see some of my friends getting cooked and I'm just texting them on the side, hey, wanakumaliza. And I just laugh at them, especially the gentlemen. Somebody just said something dumb, and then, you know, guys on Twitter waiting for him.
They, of course. Even you, when you come to defend them, they're like,
I don't know you. Like,
I've done that before though. My friend John Falme was embroiled in this controversial case. Unfortunately, where someone lost their life. May he rest in peace. And I knew that he's not the one who had done anything. And everyone was like, please don't say anything. These guys are crazy. You know, they're like the Walking Dead. They're just going to eat you alive. You don't want to, you know, defend him or say anything online. And I said, no, this has been my brother for more than 10 years. I know this guy. And I wanted the corporate side to know that he's not that person. And he's, even after being acquitted, you know, it was not, they said that he was not involved in any way. There's still people who believe that he was involved and he was not. But I tried and it helped, and I was also insulted.
Wewe ndio ulienda KSL kuliko kila mwingine.
Amina's question.
Have you been able to achieve real vulnerable moments in the spaces where you wear masks?
Ooh.
Well, like now for me today, sharing my grief story is me removing my mask.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does it feel?
Honestly, like I told you, it also depends on the people that you share with.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
there are people who you are very comfortable opening up to because you know that they're not judging you, or it's not awkward, they're not going to make a joke out of it, and it just felt right. And that's why I told Ben I would love to come you know, onto the podcast. But yes, being vulnerable, it exposes you, because ushaonanga comments mtu akisema tu anything, honestly, someone could be sharing about the most saddest day of their lives and someone in the comments will just make a joke or say something dumb,
So mean, dark.
so mean. And so it also depends on who you share it with, but it felt great, honestly.
It does feel great when you remove a mask and when you're vulnerable to a group of people. But I think it feels better when you know that they're not going to use that against you. And it was a genuine, it was an honest conversation. So they're not going to use it to judge you or to remind you later or to bash you about it. So it feels better based on the people and how they carry you, how they like the way they view doesn't change because of anything.
Oh yes, for sure, because sometimes it does change.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I noticed that a lot of entertainers, I always want them to share how difficult it is to make money or save or invest, or even some of them when they struggle with drugs. I just want them to share that part. Please tell young artists not to smoke weed, that it's addictive, not that it's vibes and fun, because it's in the lyrics of music, and they don't, just because another time now someone will remind you, wewe na hizo bagi zako zilibaki kwa hili.
Or people will be stuck in that thing forever, and they'll use it against you
so
forever.
if somebody then uses it against you, then that's a serious weapon, because you showed them your weakest point.
Yes, you did.
So,
Yes, you did. So it's just like, I
so you gotta be very wise.
See a mask.
it's not like
you gotta be very wise about it.
yes.
I think for me, I have achieved that. And I think to everything that you're saying, also to feel accepted. That somebody you opened up and somebody like took you with your weakest moments, with your vulnerable, with your authentic self, if we'll say that.
Yes.
So, and to feel accepted and seen.
Yes, that's true. And even with that honeymoon phase, as we were getting out of it, you'd notice that the closer you'd get closer to Ben, the more you'd share, and he'd still be there. You're like, oh, but unanipenda. You're like, guy, unanipenda. Na ilikuwa ndengu mbaya. Like ilikuwa mbaya. You know, so I think it also brings people closer, depending on how they treat you afterwards.
Yeah. Even if I think about like the birthing process and like the way it's so messy for a woman, and like for you to see me through that, and you say like, you know, I actually even love you more for it.
I'm just embarrassed. I was like, this is so gross.
I'm so sorry you had to see cut open and all. Like,
it is very invasive.
Yeah, it's extremely.
I'm just like, I'm so sorry you had to see that. I'm so sorry I had to put you through that. But it is what it is. Yeah,
I'm still a sexy girl.
And then the healing after giving birth, it's so
breastfeeding.
Yeah, like
I don't know what is. It's a lot.
Yeah.
But the smell of me, because when you're dripping and you don't know, God,
me, I was like,
it's a lot.
So like now this is how my marriage ends. Like,
and that's why, by the way, sometimes people say that's when men cheat the most, because you do view that person very differently. You know, when you first met Wanjiru, she looked different. You know, she used to dress up. Her hair always looks for months.
Transitions are crazy for in relationships. And if you're not intentional about being there, they can change you. They can change you as a person. And having a baby is another transition.
Huge.
Oh, Ciro, you are so lucky.
Yeah, I was so blessed. I was like,
good guy. It's a good one, Savannah. He's a good man.
He's a good man. All right. Do you think authenticity online is just another curated performance?
Yeah, I mean, for some people, you can just always tell, walikuwa wanataka views.
Yeah,
you know, and there are some you can tell, oh wow, this is real. This is a very honest moment. Yeah.
But I don't think you can show your full authentic self online. It's not even advisable.
It's not.
And I don't even think as human beings we have the capacity
to handle
the full authenticity of another person, what they're thinking, their dark thoughts, their
intrusive thoughts.
That one, Kwanzaa, the intrusive thoughts, the things that they do when no one is seeing. I think only God has the capacity to see us that way and not change the way he views us. Because if human beings are able to see what you do in your darkest moment, we're going to be very mad at you, even though we do the same thing. You'll be like, how dare you do that?
By the way, have you noticed people put you on a pedestal for doing the same thing they do, and they punish you for it in a way that is so ridiculous. And we're doing the same thing, you know?
But even sometimes I don't even look at it from their people's lenses. It's even through my own lens. How many times have I been so pissed at somebody for doing something, but even I have also done the same thing, or I'm judging them harshly. But if you observe yourself clearly, you've also done some of those things. So here we are.
I read a quote somewhere that was saying, society keeps telling you, be yourself. And then when you be yourself, society is like, no, not like that. We want like a different version of yourself.
That is very true.
Yeah,
it's almost like be comfortable in your own body and in your own skin. And then you're told you need to lose weight.
Yeah. It's just like,
this constant body shaming. I remember I worked with a presenter who's very gifted and very, very talented, but he was always quick to anger. And so everyone in the team would be scared to tell him when things were not going well. Other than me, mi nitakuambia, by the way. So how I would do it is I would cleverly remind him of something he did. The same thing. Let's say if it was, we went somewhere for a shoot and he forgot to press record. So I'd remind him in a funny way. I'd be like, do you remember when you did this and this and that and you forgot to record? And then he'd be like, oh yeah, I remember. And then he'd laugh. And I'd be like, oh yeah, well, Michael has done the same thing.
So you going
and then you can see him trying to
get angry, but then calm down.
Because it's so quick for us to forget that we're human too. Same way with the kids when they're doing homework. Kwanza ya maths, amjafika hapo na tawa. Acheni niwaambie. Acheni, guys.
Atakutest.
Wewe.
What do you mean you can't tell 18 times 15 million?
You'll be like, James has 1 apple. He has been given 2 apples by the teacher.
How many apples does he have in total?
No, it's like 20. You're like, haya, just come. So
Tafuta baba yako.
That's when unakumbuka bedhi hata akona mama. So that's when you remember that, no, even you should remember that even I didn't do this well in math, and so slowly. But at that time, do you remember?
No.
That's a very good point. It's like when our folks want us to get A's. They never got A's. Where you expecting me to get that gene from, Dad? You were good in football. And they're telling me to get an A from where? So like even when our boy is starting to walk. This is at 1 year. So at 1 year, my wife is like, why is he not walking? And then the dad told me that Shiro walked at 14 months. At 14 months. So I was like, you walked at 14 months, but you want him to walk at 12 months.
What is the math?
Exactly.
Yeah,
and it's the same even where we hold one another in our relationships, where you didn't keep time. Maybe you were 30 minutes late, or you generally don't even keep time. What's a bena chelewe?
I'm so guilty.
Tunakulipa how much for therapy, Amina?
Lakini acheni niwaambie, by the way, nimekuja kunotice hata hapa pia nilichelewa. Why? But you will notice people who don't keep time get so impatient. 12:01. Where are you? Uko? Okay? So you just don't respect my time. Baby, I said you kept me for an hour. No, you don't have to bring other problems. I should come. I should need our charge.
Like today, I was playing PlayStation before I leave. So I was like, I'll set it for 10 minutes. So I knew I had a quick 10 minutes to refresh my mind before I leave the house. My wife is like, no, we are so late. We need to leave now. I'm like, okay, this is unfair, but I switch it off. And then she goes on to remain for another like 15 minutes in the house. And I had to
I'm working on myself.
rise above it.
I'm working on myself.
It's to Kwanzaa, you can give her extra time for makeup.
No, she had already finished her makeup. She had finished everything.
I was pangaing the boy.
Oh, you see?
Excuses. Does the boy know he was being pangwad? So this is number 4. Is your relationship where you feel the most is your relationship where you feel the most free to drop your mask?
1,000%. I'm so sorry I had to answer that.
No, I was about to say the same thing. 100%.
100%. Me too. 1 million. I tell my wife stuff that I don't tell anyone, and probably will never tell anyone. She's the only one who knows that.
Those intrusive thoughts, they're only safe here.
Yeah.
As they should, though. I also say the same thing about friends, if I can't be my one, and sometimes this is something, hata nimekosana na watu because of this, I have very strict boundaries when it comes to friendships, who I hang out with, who I spend time with. And over the years, because of, people pleasing tendencies, you're like, okay, sawa. Like let's say we had talked and you guys told me I'm by myself here on the podcast. And then I come and I find like there were 3 other people and I'm uncomfortable, but I wouldn't say anything. So it got to a point where I would just walk away. I would walk into the room.
Find 3 people.
I'd be like, Mimi, because I can't, because I feel like I have to be this Amina of the trend, or I'm a whatever it is they've imagined in their head, that's who I will be. And 99.9% of the time, I have no makeup. I look homeless. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just look so different, and people will say, "You look so familiar" when we meet, because of course of how different I look. And I tell them, I think you're confusing me with my cousin Amina. It's not. I was like, yes, because of how off I look. The eyebrows aren't drawn. You know what I mean?
That's actually my cousin.
I all the time.
Amina Abdi, Rabar's cousin.
All the time. Or I say I'm their sister. I say all types of things. I'm like, or sometimes I say, people tell us we look alike, because the difference between these guys.
Why are you messing with this guy's head? And they'll be like,
because the difference is intense. Niko na wig lines. Unajua nakatu mtu mwingine. So at that point, I want to, and I'm also very talkative and very loud. The difference is not that much. It's only maybe that I'll make dark jokes, or if, sometimes we'll make sexual jokes or whatever it may be, but I'm just myself. And I don't want to explain that I am not an evil person in front of this person, because now the joke is turning dark.
And then I have to go down this rabbit hole.
You know what I mean? So the minute I feel like I have to be different, I am not comfortable. So I immediately just tell you, please, is it just me and you meeting? It is. Because I will come looking very different. Mismatched shoes, whatever. I don't care. So we're friends, and that's why we're in a relationship.
You come as Amina's cousin.
So when that mask needs to be
really
put on,
interesting. It's also like even in our circle of friends, like when we're with Kinamoji, sometimes even when we're in public, he has to remind me we are in public. Like, don't,
you see, and it's annoying, right?
Don't mock some people, don't do this, or don't say that, But when you're together, like
everything goes.
You see, like there's this. I'm so sorry, I talk too much.
No, it's okay.
This is a podcast.
But there's this. I don't know if you guys saw it. I think it's on TikTok, where they had these jokes that they would tell about the Bible. I did Siari, by the way. So
wow.
they weren't offering Ayari at the time. Nini Kenya High School. But anyway, so I would get the jokes a lot. And I don't know if you guys saw them, where Atisijui Moses is live on IG.
I think
or
I saw some of them,
So it's okay for you to find it funny in certain quarters, because in other spaces they'll be like, hey, you heathen. I knew you were.
You actually sent me some of those videos.
But I can never send some people.
This is my G for real.
Yes. Like these UK guys also do these jokes. Actually, they're the 3 wise men. How did they? I say, for real. Like, we saw these stars. And it's funny, but then not everyone will find it funny.
You can't even repost it because...
You can't. Like,
TikTok.
what? Yeah, because
there's so many funny things I see I can't repost.
You can't.
It's a rabbit hole.
So you knew,
I'm dying,
I always knew.
Yeah, they always say that. I always sense fakeness.
People could stay together for 20 years but divorced. Nilijua tu. I could see. She used to force.
Okay. So assuming you are your true self in your relationship, do you think you could be in a long-term relationship if you could not be your true self? Can you be in a
say it again?
Can you be in a long-term relationship where you're not your true self?
I don't think I can. Long term.
For years.
So I think that is so interesting, because there's so many times where people feel forced to be in relationships for whatever reason. I see it a lot with women, especially when they want money or I don't know, this person is the one who the family has approved of, and you stay for
Whatever
you know,
reason.
or even you stay because you're hoping that honeymoon phase guy is going to show up again, and you keep hoping and hoping and hoping. But I think that's why there's this joke they say how women get married when they're younger, because when they're older, there are certain things that they cannot tolerate.
Yeah.
But there are
so
very many millennials who are in relationships that they're not happy in, but they just
Have to stay in them.
Yes. For
Would
the
you
kids,
stay? I
I don't
wouldn't
know.
stay.
I wouldn't stay, especially like I've said, you know, when you make money and you have means and ways, it just doesn't make any sense. And I think, you know, for a long time we used to believe that yes, you stay for the kids, I don't know what. But then with time we found out that even the kids want a happy mom.
Yeah.
They want a healthy mom.
Yeah.
It's better overall for
the
you.
kids.
So no. Me, for me personally, of course not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course
Me too.
not.
Yeah.
Good.
Next.
Who's asking?
Oh, is it
I know I'm
me?
still laughing at that. What Amina said, that when you find her in her family gathering, she even has a strong Arabic accent.
Hey, when I tell them, hey, Amina.
Anakula tu mchele na the goat meat, the soft
You
one.
should, yes, Arosto. You
Arosto.
should see me, guys. You know, and so I would ignore you, even when people will come say hi to me when I'm with my mom, and I'm like, bro, Mimi, and they would get so upset. I'm like, this is not the environment where we know each other. I don't, as in, even to my partner, there are people who he can never meet. I'm like, because there's a lot of explanation as to why this girl is behaving like this, dressing like this. So I have to act like you're a fan. And then later I'm like, you know, like
How do I read the room?
Yeah, thank you.
Read the room.
Thank you. Anyway, now, do you think love requires seeing your partner's true self or just loving the mask they offer? In a relationship, I think you should take off the mask.
Yeah.
You have
You know, take off the mask. Let me see who you really are.
Yeah.
I should be able to love past all the what you consider flaws, because sometimes, you know, it's an insecurity thing. You're the one who thinks it's an issue. That's probably my favorite thing about you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Plus,
Especially if it's long term. Like, hey,
for sure.
Oh my God.
But you know, a lot of us get into relationships hoping for it to be long term.
Yeah.
You know, ni machali labda ndo mnatuchezeanga games. Madem tunakwanga serious. Yeah.
but it can also be it can be tiring. You know, it can drain you mentally. And I think that's what happens when maybe now after many years you realize like that you have become somebody different, and it's because you couldn't allow the true self to really pop out. Or different personality, or that mask has chipped into your true personality that you even forget who you are before.
Oh wow.
That you now become the mask that you're
Yeah. Because you've forgotten who you are. And it's not even in a relationship, even in the public figure or based on work, for example, as a public figure, you might take on this persona that you have portrayed online, that you even forget your true self. I don't know.
That's why.
That's true.
I even hear stories when people say how long someone kept up an act or a lie. I can't lie that long. I can't pretend that long. I even get tired of pretending. That's why I don't want to interact with people that I don't want to interact with.
Me too.
You know what I mean? Because why do I need to be somebody else? Why do I need to pretend to be someone else? So I don't feel there's much of a difference. Like, it's not like when the cameras go off, we turn into animals. Like, it's just us. It's just a bit more polished, like I said.
That's true.
But there are people who, I don't know, there was Risa Tisa's story.
That's what I want to say.
Even women who pretend to be someone else.
Yeah. Who the F did I marry?
Yeah, you remember? Or even the lady who pretended to, what was it called? The catfish, the high school catfish, remember? Turned out to be the mother.
The show you were watching.
My days.
Yeah, that was so crazy.
Insane. So people who like pretend that they are married and this is a thing they do all the time. Like the Tinder swindler guy who pretends to be an entirely different person. I can't do that. The most I can do though is like cab drivers. Now with cab drivers, I can be anyone.
That want to be.
Who do you want to date? I'm like, hii mambo ya legal inatusumbua.
Who do you want to date?
It's a thing. Mliona mse Twitter pia akisema the way every time he gets into cabs, like he has to name drop and say how he's working on big projects. The fascination of this guy. Tell them that he works with politicians. Like, sasa huyu kabongo anataka niseme mambo yake sitaki sai. And there is no one calling you.
Oh gosh, that's conman tendency.
Kabisa.
Potential.
I'm like, Ruto na yeye
Potential to be
ananitafuta.
governor. Like akiendelea hivyo,
You know,
we might vote for him.
Ana manifest. I think ana manifest.
Aya, how long into a relationship do you finally show your real self? 2 weeks, 3 months, 1 year, or after marriage?
Hey. after marriage is dedication.
Keep up your appearance.
Maybe 3 months or 2
I
weeks
also
even.
think like, maybe 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like,
Just sinakwambia,
Yeah.
first of all, I'm such an emotional person. Lazima nitalia soon. Like
at some point.
after a podcast ikiendelea for another hour, naweza
If we
kulia.
press the right buttons.
So there are certain sides of me that you will definitely see. But like the ones we were talking about with Shiro earlier, the ones of, there's a psychotic side, we will save it.
Yeah.
It's a special,
Oh, yeah.
That's like your last weapon.
That's the closing act.
That's my last card.
That's the closing act.
Thank you. We don't know that.
Are you guys ready?
Make some noise for.
And when you know he's here now.
Yes,
Like,
and I'm like, Akuna, we've met everybody. You have met everybody. There are things that now,
Yeah.
but there are things we cannot hide. And I think if you do hide, then you're not with the right person.
Yeah.
The minute you have to pretend, the minute you have to put on an act, even just friendships. And I remember telling a friend of mine, like maybe 3 years ago, that trending really helped me. It just, like I told you, took off. There was this burden that was just lifted that I didn't even know I carried around. And so I didn't want to be different anymore. I just wanted to be with people who loved me, appreciated me. And if you didn't, well, you could just F off, And so I remember telling her, I've noticed that every single time we hang out, there's this need to look a certain way. And I don't want that pressure. I don't want the pressure of dressing up, of my hair getting done. That's all costing money that I don't see the need for unless I am making money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if I'm not making money, what is it? Why do I need you? If you're my friend,
Yeah.
why do we need to, because then the pressure comes in of the kind of bag I should carry, the kind of shoe I should have now. And I've had different kinds of friendships throughout my life who've made me feel like I should show up as this person they need me to be. Whether it's having rich, kwanza, if you've been brought up from a humble background, and then you meet friends who are moneyed.
Yeah.
I'm my mom, my dad, you guy, my guy. You know those ones. We go to Vashas every week.
Yeah.
I can't. And you can't tell them. I think that's fake. So the minute you have to put on a facade,
it's not.
I just feel like you're not really my friend. I should be able to tell you, siwezi kushinda nime. Whatever it is that you think I should do. Even personalities like being in media, I hate, I mean, it comes with the territory.
Yeah.
But I've always disliked when people said, oh, you look like you should live here, or you look like you should drive this. And I'd get it throughout my career. People, when I joined Capital, I remember would say, unafanya nini kwa matatu? Wewe unafanya nini kwa matatu?
Achana na mimi naenda pale naenda.
Yes, and they would tell you until you feel this pressure. That's coming from nowhere to look a certain way.
Yeah.
Kuva ile jacket yako sasa.
Yeah.
Ukoko umesweat.
You've basement mazeni kaitoa very fast.
Umechukua deni to buy that jacket. And people do it all the time. They tell you, bossy, now you're there paying bills you can't afford. They put this thing on your head and now you have to meet that character that they've placed on you. The minute you have to do that, relationship, friendships, work, anything,
it's
not
worth it. It's downhill from there.
It's downhill.
You reminded me of the story from Matriz, and I remember like when I would like Kitambo, when we were still starting off music, niko kwa Matri, we meet a fan, and I remember taking a selfie with one of them. So nimejishikilia like hata mati imejaa, so nimejishikilia they were like, come tupige selfie, so we like kama unishikia hapa hivi tupige the selfie. So I remember
and sometimes people will make you feel like, hey manzebe ni ben psycho, yani unaishi hapa. Even when you go to a kibanda, mi hakuna mahali mtu anaweza niwekea pressure. I go where I go, I do what I need to do. Like there's this joint that I really like that does everywhere. By the way, I love affordable things. And if I do go there, people will ask me, hata wewe unakuja hapa kwa sababu ni sao. Exactly why you are here is why I am here.
It's like Muji alikuwa amezoea kutupeleka club for lunch. So Shiro at least pia tulikupeleka hapo like twice or thrice.
Sasa
Monani food.
Yes, it is.
Extremely nice.
The minute you have to take her to CJ is just no. Huyo atanipenda kwa sababu napenda mayai boilo.
So how many questions? Just three more left.
So give Amina one. I'll give you one.
I think we've done this.
Oh, okay.
So let me do this.
So then two more. Go.
So this one is in your observation, does society reward performative personalities more than genuine ones?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, 100%.
Performative. So we just talked about it now.
100.
Be yourself.
100.
You're being yourself too much.
We don't like that version of you.
Oh, 100.
Alafu performative. Alafu if you can add entertainment on top of that.
Love that stuff. Like if we just create a kaskit where we are fighting nini mpaka ni kwamba unimwagie maji kwa restaurant. Hizi tickets unadhani tunashinda tukiwaambia wanunue Tunauza zote. Zinauza zote.
It's true. And they love bad news more than the
people
positive.
love that
Ati
stuff.
bado wako pamoja.
So wanaanza kukutafutia vitu za ku like sort of like now bring division and like you guys are not like the. And then they start to, because I've seen that, they now start to pit us against each other.
Oh, yeah.
So they're like, oh, like this one is not right for Ben because of da-da-da-da-da. Ben is not right for this one because of da-da-da.
Yeah.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
Do you see how she's talked to him?
Yeah.
Do you see how he da-da-da-da-da? And in fact, there's a lady who did a video the other day and it went viral as well on TikTok. I'm on TikTok a lot, like a 12-year-old. And she was saying how people with healthy relationships are not on the internet. Why? Because the minute someone posts something at you, I would never do that. You take out the trash. And the lady was saying, if it works for our relationship, I take out the trash because I don't like cooking. So he cooks for us.
Yeah.
The minute people share, because what normal looks like for you is not what would necessarily
that's
look
true.
like in my
That's
household.
true.
So we are different. You are to
Very
borrow and
different.
take different things from our relationship. And then you see if you can add them onto yours.
Yeah.
But this idea that we're all the same and should all remain. For example, in some relationships, the woman just earns more. She's just more
Lot of
educated. She just had better. Sometimes it's even luck. Luck, opportunity. Like Temi Atedola is very wealthy. The father is very wealthy. He's
Mr. Easy's.
mogul
Yeah, that's what I was
of a
saying.
businessman. Hata toe wimbo ngapi?
Bado hatafikia baba
Hata
yao.
auze skiza ngapi? Hata mnunue skiza ngapi?
Bado hatafika.
Afanye nini nani ajaze blankets and wine kumi.
Bado
He will never get to that point. And so they have to come to the agreement that she will always make more money. I mean, of course, I can respect you and live within our means where you can maybe afford. But lazima tu their wedding gift was 3 apartments or something in Dubai. Mr. Easy.
Yeah.
Jamani, hata Lagos hajanunua. Unajua like, come on. Yes, and there's nothing wrong.
It's like your abnormal is normal to other people.
Yes.
And I think you just need to be open to that fact, you know.
It reminds me of like, there's something I saw on TikTok that it's called the bean soup theory. And it was brought about by a woman who posted like a bean soup recipe on TikTok.
Okay.
And then people went crazy. They were like, well, what if I don't want like beans? You have to give me another recipe that doesn't have beans. And then I like this. I don't like what you put. And then the story behind it or the theory behind it is that we've made everything about us, that you can't just watch a bean soup recipe. And if you don't like beans, just scroll, leave it and move on. But you just have to go in there and make it about you.
Yeah.
So it's rooted in like, we have to make everything about us. You see a relationship and if it doesn't work for you, if whatever they talk about doesn't work for you, you're not going to scroll, you're not going to leave and find a relationship.
You want to dwell there.
Yeah, you want to dwell there, make it about you and say like, well, you guys, I don't agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
So you kind of make it about you. And
It's true.
It's so weird.
I've never even heard of it. And the minute you said, I was, yes, I know where you're going with this.
It's so crazy.
So upsetting. I remember there's a video I did the other day and all these women just kept on talking about my eyebrows. Ni filter. Sasa nifanye nini? Hata ikuwa makeup. I don't know what to do. Yeah. And I could have scrolled, but no, they had to stay and
You have to do it there.
comment and say, hizo eyebrows.
Just
Mwenye
scroll.
amechora hizo eyebrows anakuchukia. Amina hizo eyebrows. And I was Ni filter. But I get it. And sometimes it does get to you. That's why you have to, especially now because social media is part of our lives for a very long time, you have to come into this space aware that, like we had said earlier, you will not be liked by everybody. And whatever it is that you're talking about, someone will come and say, "Hey, podcast that no one forced you to watch it."
But you see, it's also then we need to also call ourselves out when we are very uncomfortable with somebody else normal.
Yeah.
Because even we get irritated by some things or somebody's like this, but because we expected them to be like this, it pisses us off. And then we also need to call ourselves out and be like, whatever you're doing, especially people in the faith, anything that looks abnormal from that faith belief system, it pisses them off so much, you know? But then it also shocks me because the foundation, like even of Christianity, for example, is love. Like Christ says, the greatest thing that I leave you guys with is you have to love one another. That one has to be there. So whether somebody subscribes to what you believe in or not, or whatever they're doing, you just have to love them and accept them the way they are, which is tough.
I have really enjoyed myself, Aki, on this podcast.
So
you guys, the feeling is so good. Like the energy in the studio is so positive. You're right.
Amina.
It is,
Thank you.
Founded on love, just like Islam is founded on peace.
Yeah.
Now nakwambia ile terror watu wananyonyeshanga online. Hey.
Far from peace.
So the foundation of Islam is peace.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And love, you know, it's a very peaceful religion. Nakwambia huko.
Umekimbizwa.
You know?
Nishikie huyo. Huyo mwenye hijabu mlete hapa.
I want to beat her, you know, and even how people correct you is not religious. Like you are going straight to hell.
Like really
It's not even out of
we
love.
are so intolerant. I like it's crazy.
Upset.
It's next level.
It's upset. And I don't know what you assume. You think now you've insulted Ben and 10 to the point that now they want to, you know, they're drawing closer to God, or it's
Like, what is your goal?
Goal. What is your aim?
Yeah.
Oh, it's me. All right.
The last question. Okay.
Do you think masks protect us or do they disconnect us from our true selves?
I think they protect us. They can protect us, or they should protect us in some spaces. Or do they what?
Or do they disconnect us from our true selves?
Yes. But when you don't know when to take them off, they will disconnect you from your true self.
Yeah, but you see, the mask should not be entirely different. Like you wearing that mask should not be like the movie The Mask, where you turn into a wild character that is so far removed from who you truly are. It, like I said, it's just a much better representation of who you are. It's not that it's just your day and night from this person. You know, like we had said, I don't have a cartel. You know, there's some things you hear. When I heard what P. Diddy was doing,
That was a real mask. That was a real mask.
I
Now
don't know
that's
what
a
that
mask.
was.
Yeah.
Right?
It might have been
shield.
the reason. I don't know.
And I think we have
don't
to
even
start
know
by
who the real
defining what masks are. Because when I say mask, when we are saying mask, we don't mean that it's just a very different person. It's just you, like, for example, the Prime Minister, I think of, which country was it, who was seen partying. I don't know if you guys remember. And guys were upset online. Some European country.
It was Britain during COVID.
Oh, yes, it was, right?
Yeah.
And people were so, because as a Prime Minister, I guess you should not be having fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Just be
And it's-
formulating policies every single time. You know?
24/7. That's all you should be doing, you know? But she was being human and people cast. It was really bad. It was really bad. But that's when I say mask, that's what I mean. That there's you let your hair down and have a good time, and maybe you enjoy a glass of wine here and there, and that's you in your private time. But others are just.
So, in fact, even another, maybe something to explain it better, instead of a mask, it's like some sort of foundation that you've added. You know? So, the times you don't have the foundation, the times you have the foundation. So, it's the same person, same everything, same values, because the underlying factors is the values that you hold as a human being.
I completely
All
agree.
right. Last question of the day. It's quite simple. Do you think your followers believe you when you say, this is a real me?
I'd have to ask them, but I think I'm really close to who I am. Yeah, I think I'm pretty close to who I am.
I've really tried to be as close as I can.
Humanly.
Yeah, humanly
Right?
possible. Exercising wisdom on what to share and what not to share. I've really tried to be the real me. So I hope you guys believe me.
Yeah. I hope so too. I hope they believe me. If they don't, also now, that's also beyond my control.
Yeah.
There's not much I can do with that regards. So I hope they believe me.
Yeah.
But I think you guys are what you say you are. And I think that's also another thing that irritates people, that you can be your authentic self and still be loved. And it's like you actually have a dope personality, you know? And that irritates the life out of them.
Yeah.
You can be like this and they're like, no, I know Ben
Kuna
does
kitu.
things.
You know, like there was some comments where people were trying to come at us. They were trying to come at how our dynamics and how we relate. And somebody picked out the fact that Shiro anajionanga sana vitu zake ana importingi za Ben ananuanga huko local. Pia mimi zingine utumana. Mnataka nionyeshe
Zangu, all of them are gifts. So like, what do I do? My friends just love them.
whether they're gifts or not, like it's what you like or what your taste is. So it's always so funny.
But you know, it's also, I think, an indication that a lot of people are very unhappy with themselves.
Yeah.
And you have to accept that there are very many young women who are single, not by choice. And it just triggers them the wrong way. And that's why there's a lot of projection on social media.
Yeah.
It's always coming from women, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ideally, it should come from men. Like, hapana Ben, dem anatumia pesa yako. You know, there should be, it's
They
always
care
from
less.
women.
Yeah.
Why does she, whatever. I don't know what kind of comments they'd make, but it would be everything and anything. And then God forbid you ever show that, you know, how you live in the house and you're the one who cooks, Ben. Bas.
Yeah.
Oh, you've had that one.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
One too many times.
Yes. And you know, sometimes it's because you're confident. It's because you're opinionated and he's okay with that. Hence why you guys even have this podcast together. And I don't know this, I didn't ask you, but I'm pretty sure the idea of the podcast came about because you did naturally just have some great conversations and you were like,
that's 100%.
Can you imagine if there was a camera?
All the time.
We
All
are
the
very
time.
wise.
All the time.
Come and give you a baby.
All the time.
Let's make another wise password with that. Because it just used to be so second nature to you guys.
Yeah.
And then now that triggers people.
Because they're just pretending for the podcast. No, ni wewe na chali yako ama mwanako. You people just don't converse in a very deep manner, you know?
And I'd see you anyway.
And that's Amina Abdi
Rabar.
Hey. We need to have you again, Amina.
You should. I feel like I talked the entire show.
No, it felt so good.
Oh, yeah?
Thanks for coming. You look very drippy, like your feet.
Thank you for honoring our invite. We loved having you. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was a very fun episode. Remember, our live experience is still happening 22nd November.
Nakuja.
Yes.
Karibu.
Welcome. Grab your tickets. We will see you guys on the next episode. Bye.
Adios.
Bye. Thank you.
Oh, that was so dope, Amina.